So some of you might have seen when I last made my super tensioner. Things didn't go well. Snap bolts, burnt pulleys. So, but I didn't give up. So I've ended up making a new version 2, which takes the old version 1 because it was too strong and just tads it down a little bit. So I'm just going to take you through exactly how I basically made it. So moving on from the old tensioner, I have redesigned and moved some things around to make it work, being that the locating pin is in different positions and different sizes. So here we are, so we're going to now throw that through and print it out onto some template acrylic, just so we can test fit it. So I've chosen to go with using MDF wood as the actual material for testing, because I can actually sand it and malleable it where I want. Well, it's not really malleable, but I can sand it and change it. So we're just going to cut out 4 pieces, and 4 3mm pieces of MDF make 12mm to make one massive plate. So with 4 3mm MDF sheets, it represents a 12mm thick plate, which is what I'm going to go with. So everything lines up. Put some screws, some glue and some screws through, and become one large piece of wood. And there you go. Template number 1. Let's go chuck on the car and test it out. Hopefully that that pulley will not get close to that, but it can move 90 degrees, so which means it'll be over here. And how far this belt will go from this path and down, hopefully it doesn't hit the bottom end of that. Alright, well, tested it up, and straight away the template's failing on the bottom radiator hose and the timing cover. So, unfortunately, because that's where the locking pin is, I'm gonna have to, if I want this tension to work, I'm gonna have to cut at least 3/4, have 3/4 of locking pin still there, but the last quarter and the outside shimmed away, and that will allow it to come down closer to the timing cover, because at the moment she's on the piss. Alright, well, it is tight, very tight. I don't know if this is actually going to work using the bolt in the head. So a bolt straight through the tensioner into the head cannot happen, just because the center of the tensioner makes the bottom foul on the bottom radiator hose and timing cover. But so what we'll have to do now is you'll still use that as a mounting point for the actual plate, but we'll have to move the tensioner in the up to left direction. Okay, so here's my 4th and hopefully final revision. Alrighty, so straight away the plate fits, which is great. So the bracket is the correct size. So let's see how the tensioner fits. Clears the alternator serpentine pulley, sorry, the accessory serpentine pulley, so which is fantastic, because that's what the issue I thought it wouldn't clear. So we'll have to get out the laser alignment tool to see how it looks. Oh baby, lasers, freaking lasers. Only off by about 2 millimeters. So I'll shave 2 mil off. Alrighty, so I got a nice big piece of alloy. It's painted yellow because that's the only paint I had laying around. And we're about to send it. Go through and etch all the paint away and just leave me with an alley backing. Yeah. And we'll go cut it out with the bandsaw. There we go, it's all traced out. Yep, just go center punch it, cut it out in the bandsaw. Oh yeah, clean it up, drill out the holes, and we'll put it together. Finally cut it all out, finally finished all those off, the readjusting the depth, so they're all putting through. I've re-grounded that out, so I put a the head of a 10mm M10 Allen key style bolt where it's countersunk, and there's your little rise there as well. So we'll go and shove it on now and make sure it all lines up and is the right height and everything. I also tapped the inside of the plate and the outside pulley, so they're ready to be bolted up. And yep, well, hopefully the prototype fits. Well, it's all in, bolts all up. Everything lines up perfectly. The far pulley, I'll just need to do some quick measurements again, make sure that all lines up, but I'm possibly think I've taken it back just a little bit too far. As you can see, it seems to be just behind. So this looks right now where it needs to sit, but this, I think I've taken it back too far, so it's alright, not a problem at all. I can machine that base down. This is why I had extra meat on it. I'll machine that down a couple of mil to bring that back out. As well, we can also pack behind the we can pack behind this to bring it out further. But that's all there. It's nice, solid, big 12mm thicker alley. I just want to make sure all this lines up perfectly before I weld the bits at the back. So that's how they look at the back. 1, 2, 3 points of contact. And the one out here will also get little triangle pieces welded on so that we all get it right, to give this more rigidity all the way out here, because yeah, being all the way out there, there's a lot of tensional side force on this, and I want to make sure all that lines up perfectly. Just to give an idea of the travel, so you know what it looks like. 90 degrees from there. So So I had to do this one-handed. Okay, I spent the morning cleaning all the paint off and prepping these ready to get welded. I'm going to cut some little triangle pieces out to give it some rigidity, and we'll start putting some wire into it. Well, with it all welded and all done up, this is what it looks like. Just give it a nice clean and polish and look nice and snazzy. Let's go fit it up on BIGEV and start testing. Oh, that's how it looks like on the engine. You're probably wondering why it's currently sitting on some blocks of wood. The air plate's getting some work done to it, so these blocks will be exactly the same height as the air plate, so I can use that now to measure our belt length. Alright, it's all back together. First test of super tension version 2.0, make sure it all works. APK 1910 is a little bit loose for a 61mm pulley, fine for a 64, maybe a 67, but I need to go like a 1890 or something like that for a 61mm pulley. But for the moment, let's see how it goes. She's idling finally after spawning her up. Tensioner seems to be doing its job. Perfect in line. Only way to do testing now is to go do some log runs. Oh, look at that tensioner bounce. Yeah, she bending. So what do you reckon, Sean?
I reckon we need to strengthen the back of this plate because it's flexy. Too many killer wasps.
Too many untamed carrots.
Yeah, way too many carrots. Almost carrot juice. There's that many carrots.
So yeah, as you can see, it was flexing a lot. So what we'll have to do, I'm going to take the tensioner back off again, and I'm going to run some gussets on the back of it. Somehow. So we've dropped down the belt. It's now an APK 1890. It's much tighter. It's allowing more tension now on it, and now we can actually see what's happening. But yeah.
Design on demand.
Yeah. HBD, Holden by design. So using some box tube alley, cut it in half, put it between the 2 points, we'll weld it up, and hopefully that strengthens the back of it. Alright, well, with a piece of box in there, nice and sturdy now, let's shove it back in and retest and see if it actually bends. No movement whatsoever. Happy days. A few months later, and still going strong. So you probably notice that pulley looks a lot bigger than the old 61 that was on there. That's because we were having tuning issues. So you probably would have seen a while back I did some porting, and I found that there was no gasket below that blower, which I fixed. Since then, it's thrown the whole AFR table out, so I had to basically, I couldn't run a 61 more pulley because there was too much air in the system now, even with that one. So it definitely has to go back and get a retune. But even with the 67, no belt slip, as you can see, it's actually clean. Look, no belt dust. So it's definitely doing its job. No warp, no traction, like no movement. Been very, very happy with how this one turned out. We will test the 61. I do want to see if it has reduced belt slip at all. So keep watching. I will do another video in the future. We'll have to obviously get back to a dyno to get this thing retuned. But since fixing that, it's definitely got some air back in the system. I feel like an idiot. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Like, subscribe, and I do want to get this thing out to the track and give it a time, but I can't really until we fix those AFR. So back to see Dr. Baz. But there's some new stuff coming. I did go a bit nuts at Black Friday sales. More on that shortly.